Okay, welcome back everybody. Today we're going to be doing a little mower maintenance here. It needs a serious cleaning as well, so we're going to take care of that. This thing is really filthy. We still have a lot of areas of our property that's the grass isn't coming yet, so when it's dry it leaves a lot of dust. So that's a real issue. But that's getting taken care of. I'm going to put a paper towel in the air intake to keep the water from going in there when we hit it with the hose. This thing is really filthy. I'm just going to hose it off a bit. I'm thinking in the future, probably at the end of the season, I'm going to get the pressure washer out and get this thing really good. The amount of grass stuck to the top of this deck is really kind of unbelievable. I'm going to be pulling the deck off later and pulling these caps off the top here and giving it a good clean. Probably the first time I've actually done this. I've rinsed it off a few times in the past, but I've never actually really cleaned it very well. So one 8mm bolt in the side panel comes off. It's going to reveal the fuel filter and the oil filter. Going to use vice grips as a clamp to keep the fuel from coming out. The filter has an arrow embossed on the side, which reminds you of the proper direction of the fuel flow. Now I'll reposition the wrench, and I'll cut the fuel line. I'm going to install a fuel cutoff valve for two reasons. One, it'll allow me to change the filter a lot easier without losing fuel. And it'll also give me a place I can turn the fuel off and let the fuel burn out of the carburetor at the end of the season, so it's not stored in the carburetor itself in the bowl. The bowl will be dry. Now I'm going to go over to the other side, pull the other 8mm bolt out to reveal the oil drain plug. That's really nice. It's a twist and pull cap. We'll put the drain plug back on. Then we'll go to my parts supply here and find the filter. Use a piece of cardboard to help steer the oil into the bucket. We'll take a bit of that oil and put it on the gasket to help it seal better, and we'll hand tighten it down. Now I'm going to put 2 quarts of oil in this thing. It'll actually take a little bit more since we replaced the filter, but I'll put 2 quarts in, then I'll run it up for 30 seconds or so, and then we'll top it up. Probably take about 4 more ounces. Now we're going to slap the clean air filter in. And then we'll run it up. We'll check for leaks. You can see the fuel filter filling up with fuel. This thing is still really filthy. Like I said, I'll get my pressure washer out at the end of the season and give this thing a good rinse down. No leaks, very good. One last check. I added about 4 more ounces of oil, and now we're going to move on. Okay, the next thing I want to check is the alternator. This thing has an electric PTO or an electric clutch for the mower deck. So we need to make sure that we're putting power back into the battery as we're mowing along. With the engine stopped, it looks like we're getting 12.8 volts from the battery. And with the engine running, it looks like we're putting 13.8 volts back in. So that's plenty of power for the PTO, and we won't be wearing out our battery. So that's awesome. Okay, so now I'm going to pull this mower deck off. It's going to be kind of difficult for me to film it at the same time, so I'm going to show you what I'm going to do, and then I'll do it off camera. First thing I did was I put the deck all the way down. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is pull these pins out here and pull these hangers off, one on each side. And then the front hanger, pull this pin out, one on each side. And then that one right there, the one in the middle, we'll pull that out. Okay, but the first thing I'll do is I'll pull this tensioner spring off here, relieve the pressure from the belt so we can get it off. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll come right back when it's done. Okay, so here we're getting all the dirt cleaned off. It really packs itself in pretty good underneath these spindle covers, so we pulled them off to get it clean up there really good. And we looked at the belt. The belt didn't have any cracks or frays or anything in it. Not that I expected it to. This is only 44 hours on this mower. And then we checked these spindle pulleys to make sure there was no noise in them, no rattles. Everything still feels nice and snug. Now, the spindles do have grease fittings on them, but from what I understand, watching a lot of other YouTubers, guys who repair these things for a living, they said that the upper and lower bearings on these spindles are sealed. So if you squirt grease into those grease fittings, nothing's getting to the bearings. So it's really kind of pointless. Yeah, and I did verify the bearings are sealed. So we're going to skip that step. But now we're going to flip this thing over, and I got some blades to put on it, and we got to clean off the bottom. So let's do that next. Okay, let me show you what we got going on with this. Okay, so it looks like we got a bit of the string from our straw hung up in the mower's blades. Not good. Need to get all that out. That's going to be a pain. Then we got to get all that scraped off the bottom, and then I've got 3 blades to put on. So I'm going to work on that next. Okay, I just spent a couple hours scraping all that crud off the bottom of this mower deck. And I got all the twine unwrapped from the spindles. It's pretty clean compared to what it was. Now, I was going to take a wire brush to this and clean this a little bit further, but I decided not to do that until the fall, after the last mow of the fall. These decks are the weak point of these mowers. They're stamped metal. They're not welded anymore. They rust out very easily. And this mower deck, without the spindles, without all the pulleys, without the belts, without the brake, without any of this, just the deck is over 800 bucks. Now, I've only paid $2,800 for the whole thing brand new, and over 800 of it was for the deck. So I think what I'm going to do is, after the last mowing this fall, I'm going to take this apart again and completely wire brush it, completely 100% clean, then put some primer on it. Maybe a little bit more John Deere green. But I'm not fooling with that right now. we'll go ahead and finish mowing this this season, and we'll do that later. But it definitely will need to be done. These decks rust out. They are the Achilles tendon of these mowers. So now I'm going to put this back together. Got some new blades I'm going to put on. We'll flip it over. We'll put the spindle covers back on and slide it back under the mower. Okay, and we're all done. That was a 50-hour maintenance. We did it at like 44.7 hours. Close enough. Now there's only two things I didn't do. One is after you take the deck off and put it back on, they recommend that you level it. There's a procedure for that. I didn't do that because you need a really flat surface, a hard surface. It's gravel, you know, it could throw you off a little bit. I could pull a sheet of plywood out and roll it under there, but I didn't feel like doing it. It's close enough. I can eyeball that. And the other thing we didn't do is we didn't adjust the valve lash. I don't have any spare valve cover gaskets in case I tear one and can't reuse it. I didn't want to get in a situation like that. But it's running fine. I don't think it really needs it. Starts right up and runs really smooth. So we're going to forego that maintenance item right now. But yeah, I think now I'm going to get on this thing and see if it mows. I'm not going to mow the whole yard today, but I'm going to go down there and see if I can cut a little bit. Make sure I got these blades on right. Okay, that's going to be it, everybody. I really appreciate you tuning in with me and helping me get that stuff done. It's long overdue, but we finally got it done. Yeah, so if you feel like leaving a comment or a like or subscribe, I'd greatly appreciate it. Take care, everybody, and we'll see you later. Bye-bye.